Hey boys and girls, welcome to tonight's video. It's going to be a brand new unit for us, very quick unit. Kind of relates to fractions too. So we're going to start learning about probability. And the probability, as you see up here, is just the likelihood that something will happen. So something will happen or it won't happen, or maybe somewhere in between. There's a couple vocabulary words associated with probability, and I really like for you to write these down because they're super important. So the first one is impossible. Impossible simply means that it will never happen. So on the next slide I'll show you some examples, but impossible, something that will never happen. Unlikely means it probably won't happen, but it might, but it's a very slim chance of that actually happening. Equally likely means it's an equal shot of happening or not happening. Likely means it probably will happen, but there's a small chance that it won't. And certain means that it definitely won't happen. So this is a good place to pause. Now that you have all the definitions, make sure you have them all written down because they're important for you to know. Now on this slide, this is where you are going to identify if A, B, C, D, and E are likely, unlikely, equally likely, certain, or impossible. So go ahead and read each of those. It says you will have a flip video tonight, you will breathe, you will fly like a bird, you will run a mile in 4 minutes, or you will flip a coin and get heads. So figure that out, pause it, and then we'll go through them together. Alright, hopefully by this point you've had enough time to go through them. So let's go through. Let's start with you will have a flip video tonight. That is very likely, because it's likely we have a flip video on almost every single evening, but on, Fridays we don't. Sometimes I give you guys off, so it's not certain, it's likely. Now you will breathe. That is certain, because it will definitely happen that you will breathe, because breathing is something you do every single day, because it's, pretty important. You will fly like a bird, and it's going to be impossible, because you cannot fly like a bird. You can fly a plane, but flying like a bird you can't do. You will run a mile in 4 minutes. That is pretty unlikely, especially as a 4th grader, but you never know, you might have a speed burst and you might be able to run a mile in 4 minutes. So it's not impossible, but certainly unlikely. And finally, you have an equally likely chance of flipping a coin, getting heads or tails, because you only have heads or tails, so that you have a 1/2 chance of getting that and a 1/2 chance of getting that, so it would be equally likely. So bring back to school, I want you to write your own scenario for each. I want one that's impossible, one that's certain, one that's equally likely, one that's likely, and one that's unlikely. You cannot choose any of the same ones that I gave you, but I'll be interested to read these in the morning.